Good evening, good evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday's Night Live It Out Inc. We're live on Facebook and Instagram. Come in, click like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Welcome again to this thankful, thoughtful Thursday with Live It Out Inc.
Okay, just stay still for a second. Talk.
Okay, welcome again to this Thursday, thoughtful Thursday, and Live It Out Inc. We got something amazing for you guys. We're on this journey to healing, and remember, I told you guys last week that we're going on this journey to our mental health healness, and now we're going to begin it tonight. So tonight, I got a couple of my sisters with me. These are some amazing queens. They are my co-hosts. They my lifeline. I can always pick up the phone and call and be like, hey, I need y'all to Live It Out Inc. with me. We need to chop it up. We on some real life stuff. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Let's have a wonderful night and let's bring my sisters in. All right, we got Bridget and Vanessa.
Hey.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello.
Live It Out Inc. Everyone. Okay.
SMR, you choppy.
Am I chopping to you guys? Like, am I chopping up?
No.
I hear you clear.
Okay, good. So we're gonna keep going. So tonight we're gonna begin this journey to mental wellness. First of all, we're gonna talk about what mental health wellness is, or what a mental health wellness plan is. Hey Keisha, I wish you could have jumped on, but I know you're busy. A mental health plan, just like we do a vision board. You know how we do a vision board. We'll do New Year's resolutions. We'll set all these goals like I want to finish school in 6 months, or I want to own my house in a year, or I want to move here, I want to travel. So we set all these goals, we have all these plans, but do we ever just stop and think about our mental health? Like, what's my plan for my mental health? So a mental health plan is kind of keep a track record of where you at mentally and emotionally, your headspace, your coping skills, and how you can utilize it to ensure that you maintain the balance between your thoughts and your emotions and your behaviors. So we all know that we need our minds to survive in this world. We need a stable mind. We need to be sane because life can throw some blows, some ups and downs. So that is what a mental health wellness plan is. But before we can start our mental health plan, the first step we got to do is to define what it is that we need to overcome before we start this plan. What is our it? And that was our title tonight. What is your it? What is it that's stopping you from living your full potential, stopping you from living intentionally, stopping you from doing what it is you need to do, recovering from some past pain, some past hurt, some past relationships. So we're gonna dab into that a little bit. And when we talk about identifying your it, for instance, your it could be relationship. And some people, I'm gonna say some of us, I'm gonna say y'all, because I had some bad relationships that I'm still I think I'm still healing from. But relationships that just like that marriage that just didn't work, or that divorce that you can't seem to get over, or even a relationship that you may have with even to when it gets to co-parenting, or a relationship that you may have with your family, like your sisters or your brothers or your auntie, or your people have a relationship where they're not speaking to their mom. People have a relationship where they haven't spoken to their dad in years and stuff like that. And it's something that's stopping you from doing that. Another part of relationship issues is people with adult children. And it seems like the older these kids get, the some of them, they're searching for answers from their past, and it kind of strains the relationship with the parent because either the parent don't really want to address it, or the parent get offended by it, or something's going on. When you was young, you didn't understand what was going on. So that's something that people are struggling with. Family secrets. Back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Them family secrets was something that a lot of people have to try to overcome. We're going in this house, stay in this house. We don't live in that era no more. That is not a good place to be. At all. That's not a good place to be at all. Another part, and this just me talking, guys. So while you're listening, I want you to think about what your it is. Even when it comes to grieving, when you lose someone that you love, and I can relate like so close to this one. when you can't really just get over that grief. You learn how to cope, but you can't really just take that pain is still there, and it hurts, and it's hard to move on from that. Also, health issues, self-esteem. It's a lot of issues. So what is your it? Tonight we're going to talk about what is your it that is stopping you from living your full life, from walking in your purpose, from living intentionally and being the best you that you can be. Now, the scariest part for me, and I'm gonna kick it off. The scariest part for me, and I was sharing this with Doug the other day. I say, I don't really think. I mean, I really do live in the moment, but I think when I do stop and think about life, I be like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be alone. Like I'm a lone person. I'm always by myself. It don't seem like it, but I'm alone. I'm alone by myself. I don't have the person that say, baby, it's gonna be all right, or baby, I got you, or we in this together. And I was like, okay, I'm getting on up there now. The list getting kind of thin. The options are few. And I'm afraid I was telling Doug, I said, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to, and we don't know what God's plan is. We don't know what God's plan is for our life, but we do know we try to walk in his purpose. But I was just saying, I worry about my health. I worry about growing old alone. And then I deal with the grief of my mom. So it's a couple of it's that I really have to just tackle and deal with. Health, like I said, my health issues is one thing, like the blood pressure. I don't want to be, I'm a big girl. I'm proud of who I am, but I want to be healthy. I still want to be healthy. Hey, Regina. So that's my it. For right now, I got a couple on, but this is not about me. This is about us being on a journey. So if you ladies have an it that you would like to share, if you're already on your mental wellness journey, let's talk about that. Let's just jump into it.
Okay.
Vanessa, you can go
Okay, well,
first.
Okay, cool.
So definitely mine would be coming out of family hurt. And basically I've been on, and I'm still on this journey, and it's still a lot. It's kind of just like shedding skin. Because it's so much, through growing up. And my family like really depended on me. Again, but me and my immediate family dealt with the problem of addictions, which was something that God blessed me to shape, but they're still in that position. And again, being very dependent on me, I had to learn that, their issues are not my issues. Once I decided I had to go on my journey, and decided not to want to be like that no more, not to want to do that. And again, learning how to not drag them continuously with me because they continue to choose to do those things. And it really it put a heaviness on my household for a long time. And I just recently, maybe a year ago, I decided to choose me. It's a lot of self-care to come to it, because I would put everybody else before me, again, given that the things that I'm putting before me was things that they caused on themselves. But I would put myself and my household on strain to I felt like I was getting them where they needed to be and helping them, but I had to realize that I'm not helping them, I'm handicapping them.
Yeah, you're enabling them.
Exactly. So while I'm handicapping them, I'm hurting myself, because I'm dragging, not putting myself first, not choosing me. And not understanding, I'm holding this stuff, and I'm like, well, they did this to me, they did this, and they did this. And I'm like, okay, I can't change them, but I can change me. Exactly. So I had to change the way that I view things, knowing that we're not dealing with, the physical people. They're your family members, but they're dealing with these spirits that are on them. That's not them. But again, that's what they choosing to hold inside of them. So I couldn't continue to let that keep pouring onto me. So I'm still dealing with that stuff now, not, choosing to live my life and not being worried about, well, I didn't do this for them, or they're in need of this and they're in need of that, and knowing that they sleep real good at night. They sleep real good. And I'm still, from my mom to my grandma to my siblings, like I'm still shaking it out. But if I had to learn that it was putting a mental dapper on me, like it was mentally messing with me to the point where I was in the back of my head and they in the front, which is it's not fair. It wasn't fair. So again, that some pretty different because you love them. You love them, and you don't want to see them in certain position. But you got to understand this. Let people choose. People are people, regardless, blood or not. Then that's what they choose. You gotta, step back and let them choose it because it's kind of like getting in front of God. You gotta let Him work, and then you stepping in front of Him trying to play that God. It's just definitely not gonna work. And besides doing that, while you playing God, you hindering yourself. So I'm, was hindering myself. I couldn't allow, God to use me in the fullness and what He had for me, and the gifts that He instilled in me, and allowing me to blossom for me, because I'm toting them along, like a heavy book bag, just all that look.
Okay, what about you, Bridget? And then we're gonna get into that.
All right. The main thing with me is mostly always been fear. Fear of not having enough. Can y'all still see me?
Yes.
But you tell her she froze.
You froze. We see you, but you froze.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I forgot to charge my phone. Let me make sure I add my charger. Y'all excuse me, having some technical difficulties here for a minute. Hold on. We gonna get it right here.
Oh yeah, no problem. This man-made stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Well, while we waiting on you, Bridget.
By the way. Okay, now, am I back?
Are you ready?
No.
Yeah, I'm back. Am I back?
Go out.
Hit apply.
No, Doug said go out and in. Go out and then come back in.
Okay, all right.
A couple of people said mine is
money,
being rejected and not being loved the way I should be. I see rejection a couple of times on here. The thing about rejection is it has to do with self-love. Because when you come into that love of yourself, and I'm not talking about the self-love that makes you arrogant or that makes you say, I'm better than anybody else, or I did this, is I. But when you come to love yourself, when you come to start caring about what happens to your body, what happens to your mind, what you're feeding your body, what you're allowing people to feed into you, what you're listening to, what you're watching, how you carry yourself, your attitude, your personality, all this stuff. When you come into that self-love, not saying that's going to stop you from being rejected, because whatever the rejection is, or the reason why people reject you is on them for whatever their standards are. You just got to know and have confidence in yourself and know who you are and whose you are. And once you get into self-love, and you got to go spiritual with love, because you can't talk about love and not talk about God. I'm sorry. Because God is love. So once you get into love, you get into loving yourself. You love God, you love yourself, and then all that rejection and all that other stuff, it'll be minute. I mean, of course, if you're going for something, or if you're trying to accomplish something, you don't want to be rejected. Like you don't want to be rejected for buying your home, or you don't want to be rejected by opening your business, or whatever your goals are. Just know that it's just a stepping stone or an obstacle. You probably need to take another route. So take that rejection and put a spin on it. Be like, okay, that didn't work, plan B. Or ask yourself, go back and reevaluate. Is this even for me? Whether it's the relationship, business, career, whatever it is, you got to ask yourself, is this for me? Why am I feeling like I'm being rejected? Because you have the power to change you. But we're going to get back into that. Bridget, you back? Let's go.
Okay, awesome. Hey, y'all, I'm back.
Back, girl.
But my thing has always been fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of abundance, fear of not being enough. And some of those I've gotten over, because I've gotten over the divorce hurt. I've gotten over being a single parent, raising 3 sons alone. But somebody on here, listening or tuning in, may be going through that now, because you don't know if you're going to have enough to provide for your family. You're doing without, I've had a house repossessed. I've had going to foreclosure rather. I had a car repossessed. All these things by still trying to raise children, still trying to go to work, still trying to maintain and make sure that they don't see anything going wrong. Just making sure that they still in school and know that they still got a way to get to school, but still they didn't have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. But the whole time you're stressing, you're scared. You can't hardly sleep at night because you don't know sometimes where your next meal is coming from. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, or writing checks, hoping that they won't make it to the bank, within 2 days before they clear. You
Yeah.
know, I was so glad that they had Quick Trip took checks because I knew I could write a check on Wednesday to get gas, knowing I was gonna get paid on Friday, so the check wouldn't be until my paycheck got there. I mean,
Yes.
these are some
Just on
serious
the
things. And sometimes people think you have it all together. They don't know. You be smiling, you keep from crying because you're just afraid, not knowing what's gonna happen. And now, as far as what currently now, my only fear is trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be in life. What's
Yeah.
my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? How am I supposed to get there? I love singing. I've always loved acting, but afraid to step out and acting because I'm like, well, it's gonna be enough to make sure I can still provide for myself. I'm too old to be trying to star.
Okay.
I don't want to be sleeping in my car
Uh-uh.
and sleeping,
Can't
at
do
hotel.
it.
I can't do none of that. I got to still maintain have somewhere to live, and I
Exactly.
love to eat. So one thing I can't go hungry. I don't love
I
nothing that
know,
much. I'm
right?
gonna go hungry for it, you know. So that's pretty much my it.
Well, at this
Like,
point,
where
we
do I
like,
go from
okay,
here?
I done paid
How
my
do I
dues
start?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mine is trying to carry on after the loss of my husband. 15 years, and now my grandchildren want to know why. Oh, I understand, Miss Carol. I'm right there with you. I hadn't lost a husband. Well, I ain't found him. Yeah, I gotta find that man. But
No, he gotta
the
find
grief.
you.
Yeah, he gotta find. Wait, yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
gotta get so he can find me, girl. I'm in the wrong places. But Miss Carol, we praying for you because I understand that grief. That grief is something that I struggle with.
Yeah.
But in order to get over all this hill, guys, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, anybody that's listening in, some things that we can do is like when you've identified your its, when you've identified your struggle or whatever you're dealing with, you got to get fed up with it. You got to say, look, no more. I'm done. Vanessa, I heard you say that. You was like, I'm just tired. I'm done. I'm through it. That's their battle, their fight. I'm not gonna keep dragging
That's true.
myself in. So you gotta get fed up with being in that state of mind. You gotta change your way of thinking. You gotta change how you view things, your perception on what you're going through. So you gotta get fed up with that stuff. You gotta get sick of the emotional pain because a
Mhm.
lot of this stuff from our past that hurt, that stuff, if you brew it on the inside too long, for so long, it
Yep.
becomes toxic and it
Yes,
will begin to take a physical toll on you.
that's
So we
correct.
got to get fed up. We got to get
Absolutely.
fed up with whatever it is that's stopping us from being who we are or being the
Hmm.
best that we can be. Another thing I wanted to talk about was giving up the victim role. So yeah,
Hmm.
just you know how people always, we know you're going through something, but you don't have to play the victim all the time. You got to
Yep.
give that up. You got to take that strength back. Can y'all speak on that? Y'all know anything about playing the victim role? How people just want that self pity and that pity party?
Yeah, yeah, having a pity party. Woe is me. Always, never. It's like, how are you doing today? What's going on? Oh, girl, this done happen and that happened. I said, yeah, but tell me something positive
Absolutely.
that's going on with you. Tell me about some goals or some things that you want to do in life. And you try to get them off that pity party track onto something else, but they'll turn around and come right back to it.
With
And after a
something,
while, you be like, I just can't talk to them. They're calling right now. I just can't talk to them. I can't deal with them. I hope it's nothing important. If it is, maybe they'll text message me, because I try to be there as much as I can for any and everybody. That's just me. That's just one of the things I believe that God just gave me that type of heart. I just love people. And I try to help in any kind of way I can, but I always want to do something that's positive or something enlightening. And I'm like, okay, so can you sometimes call me with an encouraging word? Not just call me when it's always woe is me. It's like down, down, down. I'm like, I need uplifting as well. Help me. Let's help each other come up. You know?
Exactly. And what people got to do is like when you get fed up with your ex and you come out of the victim role, you got to know you can't sit there and keep blaming like it was my fault, or they shouldn't have done that to me, or it would have been different if it had been this. I've been so damaged, I've been so hurt. You just don't know the pain I've been through. Yeah, I might not know what pain, the pain that you're going through, but you don't stay in that pain. Don't continue to live in that pain. You got to get fed up with it. Okay.
I think the hardest thing to admit is that you had some fault in it. That's the hardest thing.
I agree. Yes.
You know, and once you can admit that what your role was in it as well, then you can come out of it. But you first still got to look within yourself. Like, I'm not perfect either. I know some things I could have done better. I could have changed. And of course, you got to learn to forgive the person. Move on for yourself, not even for them. Because sometimes you're not going to get what you want from them that you think you should deserve. And some things you should deserve. They deserve an apology, you know, but you're not going to get it. So you have to get over the fact that you're not going to get what you need or want from them.
So stop looking for it in them. So
stop looking for it. Stop expecting it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about a little bit of like shedding the old identity that relates to that hurt. Like if I'm a victim of, say somebody may be a victim of being molested by somebody in their family when they were growing up. You can't keep wearing that identity. That's not who you are. That's not where you come. That's something you experienced. And yes, it was their fault, but that's not who you are. That does not define who you can become or what you can do. You have to have that resilience. Right. So when we're talking about shedding old identities, Vanessa, can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And just as you were speaking on the victim role, that was I can identify and say that was me. Just to the point when things were going on again, that I had to change how I viewed things and how I thought about it. Conversation used to be like how you were saying, Miss Owens, when somebody called you, they would want to say all this and all this. Where's the positive stuff? So that was me. I'm like, girl, they did this and they did that and they did that, and then the result was for us to go somewhere and get my mind off this. That was the excuse. But again, I got fed up and tired with it, and I had, hey, everything going on, and it's him, her, him, and her, but I'm always in the equation also. So that's something that I need to fix. So I had to, again, as you were saying, shed and change my outlook and the words that were coming out of my mouth, always blaming and letting that be the topic of discussion, to focus on something else. Because again, those trials and tribulations that we go through, how people do us, the bad things that they do, the bad things that we experience, the hurt, the pain, that's what presses us to grow. That's what makes us who we are. And when we shed, we have to understand that we have to be an example for somebody else. Exactly. Okay, now they know our story. Now we done told them, they done did all this and that to us, but we have to decide to change and be that example. So in being that example and shedding that, we can't keep standing on the same thing. Our conversations can't be the same. Our approach can't be the same. Just like our approach can't be the same.
I like that when you said be an example. Yeah, that's good right there. I like that.
And another thing, when you're identifying your it and you're trying to get on this mental wellness journey, don't be afraid to approach your emotions that you have from that pain. Absolutely. Every day might not be a good day. That's even going back to the grieving, Miss Carol, if you're still here. Even when you're going back to the grieving, allow yourself to feel that hurt. Allow yourself to feel that pain. But at the same time, you got to push through it.
Absolutely.
You can't stay there, because if you stay there, you're going to be so miserable and it's just going to overcome. It's going to become overwhelming. and it's going to bring on other issues of anxiety and stress and all this other stuff because you can't think past your pain. But don't ignore your emotions. Like even when you're meditating, and this I'm just throwing this in here. Even when you're meditating, when you meditate, all of a sudden it's your mind is like a mad monkey. It's a gazillion thoughts go through your head while you're meditating. And the more you take in those deep breaths and you breathe in and you breathe out, it starts to calm your mind down. But at the same time, just start answering those questions in your head. Like you might have a question saying, "What I'm gonna cook for dinner? How much gas I'm gonna put in the car? When I'm gonna pay this bill? What the kids gonna do tomorrow? Blah blah blah." Just start answering those questions and bring your mind down. So do not be afraid to approach your emotions. If it's hurt, say you hurt. If you're angry, say that you're angry. If you pissed off and you 30 hot, whatever it is, you need to identify that emotion
Exactly.
and approach it. If you upset, if it's hard for you to forgive, say it's hard for me to forgive right now. But I'm trying. So we ain't gonna do, forgiveness is for you, not for them. But if it's hard for you to do that, then you have to say that. If you don't want to be around people, you need to say that I don't want to be around that person. I'm not ready to be around that person right now.
Right.
Because that person brought me so much pain. It's okay to feel how you feel. You got to know that. This is good, ladies. This is so
I
good.
want to say something to Miss Carol too, if she's still here. I don't know what it's like to lose a spouse, but I will say that when my mother passed, my dad had a hard time, losing my mother, going through grief. And what seemed to help him was talking to other people that had lost their spouses. They became like a support group for each other. And that's what seemed to help. And I saw him I just come up out of that grief just through that. And a lot of times I know, I'm not sure what men do, but I know a lot of women, we journal, we write things down. Find some time for yourself, quiet time, just to get in your own thoughts and just write down how you feel on a daily basis. And that'll help as well to help soothe and kind of comfort you. But definitely try to find, if it's not a support group, or just find some friends who have also lost spouses as well, and see if they can just be there for you, because it does help. You gotta talk about it with
Yeah,
somebody, but you can only talk about it with somebody that's been through it, because
exactly.
those people that haven't been through it, we can say all day what you should do, but
Right.
we really don't know because that hasn't hit us. And I'm hoping that might help you a little bit as well.
Yes, that's good information. Another thing we're gonna tackle one more thing is like being realistic about what healing is, like what your healing is and what it isn't. So because what healing is for one person, it may not be for the other person. So it
Mhm.
doesn't mean you don't visit those experiences, but you don't let them take in charge of you, right? Like we were saying, you
Mhm.
tackle those emotions, you think about those experiences, but you don't let them control your thoughts. So take up so much of your mind space that you can't think about what's going on in your life. You can't complete something. Some people can go
Mhm.
all day and not complete one task. You
Right.
know, some people can
Yes.
be a jack of all trades and master of none. Because you're allowing so many things
Right.
to take up your
Yep.
head space. You can't complete what you're doing. Just on this wellness journey, you got to get your plan together. Like I'm keeping track of my emotions when I'm having a breakdown, when I'm
Mhm.
feeling my lowest, or when I'm feeling sad. Like your mood, they got this thing called a mood app. And it kind of tracks your mood. So when you're depressed, or when you're having anxiety, when you're stressed, when you're feeling sad, when you're overly excited, it tracks your mood. So that's a good thing to just keep to see where you are mentally. Because this is something they should have been telling us, like take care of your mind. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Nobody never said. I ain't never heard nothing about. Back in the day they were he's slow, or they special, or they mentally retarded, which is a word they don't use anymore in the dictionary.
Exactly.
But they never really educated us on taking care of our mental health, which
That is
is
correct.
I've been learning so much, and I'm on this mental wellness journey with everybody, with you guys that's going on it, and I'm still struggling. Now that I know what my it is, it ain't gonna be my it for long because I'm gonna handle
Right.
it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I'm changing my whole mindset. I'm going
Right.
to handle it. Um, but that's all I have, ladies. If you guys have any questions in the comments, go ahead and put them in our comments. Y'all want to add something to it? But other than that, the last thing that I did want to touch on, and we actually did this first, our very first episode was on anxiety and panic attacks.
Mm.
Right.
Um, I've gotten so much feedback from people that suffer with anxiety, and they was like, it's gotten worse. For some reason, for some people, it's gotten worse since the last time we did it. Because when we first did anxiety, I didn't really, people weren't really talking to me, but I knew it because my mom suffered from it. But now I have people that I know on an everyday, I talk to on an everyday basis. These people, they hyperventilate, they can't breathe, they running, they trying to find, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do. Always, if you can talk to somebody, or if you can get therapy, please. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy, people. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. But I know for anxiety, when you're having those panic attacks, your breathing is very key.
Mm-hmm.
Your breathing is very key. You got to focus because panic attacks can cause you to hyperventilate, like we said. And slowing down and deepening your breathing, you got to deepen your breathing is both physically and emotionally grounding because it's going to calm you, it's going to bring you down. So you're going to get that fresh oxygen to your brain,
Absolutely.
and it's going to help you
Yes.
calm down. So the first thing you got to do if you experience a panic attack or you got this anxiety, start breathing. Take your time, breathe. One,
Take deep breaths
two,
in your
very important.
mouth
And
and
calm
breathe.
yourself
Well,
down.
take deep breaths through your nose and breathe slowly out of your mouth.
Breathe slowly out of your mouth. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly right. And
Mm-hmm.
Missy was asking, how do you handle anxiety and panic attacks? So that's one thing you can do, Missy. You got to get the breathing under control, especially if you're hyperventilating. Now, some people have it to the point that they have to be on medication. So if it's
Mm-hmm.
that bad, and if it's to the point that you have to have medication, then you need to talk to your primary care physician and ask them to get you the help that you need. But if you're on a day-to-day basis, because panic attacks, they come out of nowhere. They'll just bum rush you out of nowhere. And it's this feeling of fear or anxiety or whatever's going
That's
on with
exactly
you.
what it is. Fear. Fear will
Mm.
cause you to
Fear will
have a
calm you.
major panic attack.
Yes.
Yes,
So
it
your
will.
breathing is one, and the other one is don't run from your emotions. They say don't run from your emotions. So while you're breathing, you gotta uncomfortably say what's going on with you. Say what you're feeling. Always say what you're feeling, y'all. You gotta speak it into the atmosphere so you can get it out. So while you're breathing, I'm scared for whatever reason. I have a fear of whatever this is. If you don't know what it is, I don't know what this is, but it's making me feel this certain type of way. Okay, so breathing and talking to your identifying your emotions and repeat. If you have affirmations, and I wasn't big on affirmations till like a couple of years ago. Now I really want, but they work. They work because you are speaking into yourself. You are giving yourself a mental encouragement every day. If you do your affirmation before you leave out the door or before you go lay down at night or throughout the day, you take a mental health break throughout the day. Just reaffirm yourself for who you are or what you're trying to do or whatever your affirmations are. And they got them for all type of people. You can make up your own. You can Google some. You can take them from the Bible. You can take them from motivational books.
Absolutely.
However, but repeat your affirmations to yourself. I am beautiful. I am loved. People, I am worth living. I'm worth loving. I am somebody. Whatever you need to tell yourself to calm down, that's what you need to do. So that's my spiel on that. That's my little tidbit on them panic attacks because I know it's real and I know it's getting hard for a lot of people out there. It seems like the more we see a little light, but then here comes some more clouds.
Mm.
So we're gonna have to balance this thing out and fight through it. And we're gonna do it all with the same mind. We're not gonna lose our mind over this thing in this stuff in this world. We're gonna keep continuing to live. We have identified our it. Now it's time to go to work.
Absolutely.
I can do that in closing remarks.
Exactly.
Okay, I am. Okay, so
I do.
Bridget, Vanessa, you got any closing remarks? Y'all go ahead. Give the people and whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to give them. You give them what you want to give them.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Just know that you are enough.
You are enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I definitely want to piggyback back off that. You're definitely enough because we were created in God's image and we're awesome in all our ways, flaws and all. Our individuality, we are who we are and we're great. And we should always, focus on that and definitely self-care. And like you say, Miss Janice, your emotion. Your emotion, you have to identify them because if you don't and you keep them bottom up, it's like building a bomb. They eventually explode. So
You're just gonna have to
definitely,
let it
you
out.
have to learn. It's something to learn though to identify, and speak on it. Speak on it, but gradually. And it's okay. Counseling is okay. It's here for a reason. Utilize it.
Exactly. I agree.
So, everyone, we're gonna continue this journey. You've identified your it. Let's go to work. Let's get to it on this mental wellness journey, ladies. It's been awesome. Again, I love you to life.
Yes.
Now throw the L's up for living out 2020.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Always.
We are healing.
Indeed.
We are healing. So,
Yes.
hey, all
Good
of you,
hand.
everybody that's on the feed, love you. I support you. I salute you. Whatever you got going on,
Yes.
I salute you. We are here for you. Pass the word on this mental wellness journey, and bring somebody on with you. Say, look, I'm on this mental wellness journey. You need to get on with me.
Absolutely.
Because after I do this, I'm about to open that business. I'm about to
All
write
right
that
now.
book. I'm about to buy that house. About to do it, whatever it is that I was called to do. So come on now. We are queens with a powerful piece on the board.
Come on now. Yes.
So until next time, everybody, have an awesome weekend. Tomorrow is your Friday. Continue to live your best life. And I will see you guys next week.
Remember, you're not alone.
You're not alone. You are enough.
You are enough.
Know that. Say it with your chest. You are enough.
You are enough.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We're done.
Okay.